Welcome to Improve Your English Writing, video number 34, part 1 on the semicolon. Specifically, I'll be covering use of the colon dash semicolon in parentheses, which is rule number 17, independent clauses without a coordinating conjunction, which is rule number 18, and finally, independent clauses with a conjunctive adverb, or transitional expression, which is rule number 19. If you'd like to get notifications for this series, please click subscribe. If you like the video or think others will find it useful, please hit like and check out links to videos and books in the description, like a link to the companion volume there. So let's get started. So rule number 17 is do not overuse the colon, dash, semicolon, or parentheses. The popular style guides actually warn against overusing these four punctuation marks, the colon, dash, semicolon, and parentheses. So you need to use these punctuation marks deliberately and sparingly unless the punctuation mark is required by rule. So unless it's required by a rule, you should only use these marks deliberately and sparingly. If you should probably consider using a comma or period first instead of using a colon, dash, semicolon, or parentheses when not required by the rule. So that was rule number 17. Let's move on to rule number 18. A semicolon may separate two closely related independent clauses joined without a coordinating conjunction. Using a period to separate the clauses is always acceptable. So here, if you go back, I think it was rule number 3 where you had two independent clauses separated with a coordinating conjunction, use a comma. Here, where you have two closely related independent clauses without a coordinating conjunction, you may use a semicolon. So I have bolded what is closely related, and closely related is subjective. Basically, two independent clauses may be closely related by meaning, content, or grammatical structure. So when you look through the various style manuals, they're going to mention meaning, content, or grammatical structure is how the independent clauses are closely related, but it is a subjective evaluation for the two independent clauses. And often, but not always, the first independent clause creates an expectation and the second independent clause fulfills that. So that's maybe a good use of the semicolon. So let's look at a couple examples of what I've been talking about. You could say, my anxiety exploded, my wallet was not in my purse. Maybe these sentences flipped would actually create a better, expectation and fulfillment, because if you had an expectation of my wallet was not in my purse, you create an expectation, then the fulfillment is my anxiety exploded. But either way, these two are closely related independent clauses, and there's no coordinating conjunction, so therefore we may use a semicolon to separate them, but you can always use a period. That's why I have this here, or you can just stick in a period. Another example is the newspaper headline emphasized the dramatic outcome, semicolon. The article contained the mundane details causing the event. So here you have, in blue, you have two independent clauses. There's no coordinating conjunction. If there was a coordinating conjunction, you'd use a comma here, but there's no coordinating conjunction. Closely related, therefore we may use a semicolon to separate them, or you can always use a period is also acceptable. So that is it for rule number 18. Let's move on to rule number 19. Is a semicolon may, remember I'm underlining may, separate two independent clauses joined with a conjunctive adverb or transitional expression, using a period to separate the clauses is always acceptable. So some comments is remember to place a comma after a conjunctive adverb like however or therefore, or a transitional expression like for example. But do not place a comma after the conjunctive adverbs hence, then, thus, so, or yet. And for more information, see video 29, rule number 6. So let's look at a few examples. I heard the scream, semicolon, however, comma, I did not call the police. So here you have two independent clauses joined with, here in this case, a conjunctive adverb. Therefore, you may, underline may, join them with a semicolon, and then you put a comma after the conjunctive adverb. So that's how you could write this. But like the rule said, you may use a period. So it could also be this: scream, period, however, comma, I. So you can turn this semicolon into a period. Of course, you have to capitalize this. It may be punctuated this way or this way. But the rule is, two independent clauses joined by a conjunctive adverb or transitional expression. In this case, we have the conjunctive adverb. Here's another example is I heard the scream, semicolon, thus I called the police. Now here's an example. Remember in the last slide we said the conjunctive adverbs, I think there are 5 of them, I could be mistaken. Thus is one of the conjunctive adverbs which is not followed with a comma. So in this case, I heard the scream, thus I called the police, separated with a semicolon, or you can write this with the period instead of the semicolon, and you would also be correct or correctly punctuated. So let's look at an example with a transitional expression. I took the medicine, semicolon, as a result, comma, I fell asleep. Click quickly. Once again, the rule is you have 2 independent clauses separated or joined, however you want to view it, with a transitional expression. The transitional expression is as a result. Therefore, we may use a semicolon, and we use a comma after the transitional expression. This is how it's punctuated. Or instead of the semicolon, you may use a period like this. So there is an example with a transitional expression. Well, that's it for this video. If you'd like to get notifications for the series, please click subscribe. If you like the video, please hit like, and check out links to books and videos in the description. Thank you.